everyone, welcome back. My name's Bronte, and this week I'm going to do something a bit different. Again, I think I said that last week. So I'm going to do like a Q&A type video this week. I asked people for some questions you might want answered on Instagram and Patreon and on the community tab on YouTube as well. And so I got loads of questions. Thank you so much. I actually got a few too many to answer in one video, I think, because I don't know, there was a lot, and I don't want this to be like a really long video. So I've kind of picked some out to answer. So I thought we'd do that, and I'm gonna do a bit of knitting while I talk to you because I'm behind on this test knit, which is for Ozetta. It's called Air Tea. It's coming out, I think, at the end of June. So yeah, I'm just going backwards and forwards on the front now. But I will put a link in the description to the post on Instagram where she shows this pattern because it's very beautiful. I just have been very busy, so I haven't had a chance to work on it very much. So I thought I'd use this time to do a bit of that as well. So yeah, ignore my knitting and listen to my voice. Oh, sorry. I feel like it's very there's a lot of pollen about in London at the moment. I'm sure lots of people are having that problem. Okay, so the first question I am going to answer is somebody asked me what my favourite classics are. I don't really read classics, to be perfectly honest. I just find that there are so many other books that I want to read more. But my favourite classics are definitely Frankenstein and Wuthering Heights. I really enjoyed both of those books. I've read Wuthering Heights a few times because I studied it for my A-levels. And that was the first time I read it and I really fell in love with the book. And the Bronte sisters they lived near to where I grew up, so I kind of feel a bit of a special connection with those books because I kind of understand, or I don't know, I'm very familiar with the scenery that they talk about and things like that. So yeah, Wuthering Heights and Jane Eyre, I think, as well. I did really enjoy Jane Eyre when I read that. And then Frankenstein, yeah, I read that for the first time in 2021 and I really enjoyed it. I need to reread it. I didn't really know what to expect going into it, but I really enjoyed that. And the Odyssey, I also like the Odyssey. I think it gets to a point in the Odyssey though where I get a bit fed up with it, and I think once he's home in Ithaca, I'm kind of like, okay, fine, you got home. But yeah, I also like the Odyssey, and I did also study that for my A-levels, so yeah. Okay, so the next question is, how did you start working in a yarn shop? And I got asked this a few times. It's very kind of like, I think a lot of things have happened for me in my life because it was a right place, right time. I think that's how I met my boyfriend, and I think it's definitely how I got into working at a yarn shop. It was my first year in London, and I'd been in London for maybe 4 or 5 months, and I hadn't had a job up to that point in London. I did have a job when I lived with my parents at home. And I was kind of reaching a point where I was thinking, okay, right, I really need to get a job. And I basically printed off my CV and took it around to some shops that were near where I was living at the time that I thought were really cute. And one of them was a knitting shop, and I think they had somebody who was about to leave, and I handed my CV in right at the right time. And I had an interview on on a weekday, and then that weekend I started working there. And I knew very little about knitting. And I just learnt so much working there. And yeah, that was when I was 19, and I'm now nearly 28. And I've worked in knitting shops for that whole time. all through my 3 years of studying at uni, I worked in that knitting shop at the weekends, and then once I graduated, I went full time, and yeah, I don't know, it was just a real right place, right time, and I really enjoyed it. And I just, yeah, I think I like to learn. So with knitting, there's so much to learn. Yeah, I don't know, it just worked out for me, and I really do like working there. And I'm at the moment balancing, you know, working a job in a shop with doing content creation is something that I'm enjoying, and it's I don't know, it just works for me. Yeah, I really enjoy it, and obviously I really do like knitting, and it's something that I don't know, it's nice to talk to people about knitting at work. So that was a very long-winded answer. I hope that makes sense and it's not too rambly. So next question is, where do you find all your stickers / washi? I'm never sure where to look. And also this kind of tied in with another question from somebody who asked me what my favourite sticker shops are that are based in Europe. Okay, so I will link all of these in the description. But I do tend to order mainly from European-based shops because I find that US-based sticker shops, the shipping is crazily expensive. Not so much with the Canadian ones. I don't know why that is. Like, I order from the Coffee Monsterz Co, and they are based in Canada. And the shipping is like not extortionate to the UK. It's maybe like £6 or something like that for stickers, but yeah, from the US shops it tends to be more like £15-16. So yeah, European based. I'm just looking at my laptop because I made lists of stuff. I love Salam Creative. That's run by Agnes. Her shop's based in the UK. Papershire are in the UK. Plant and Stow, she's based in the UK. Colour Cafe, also the UK. And then Mohrenkunst and Maragona Suli are based in Germany. And that's all I can think of right now. I'm trying to think if I've ordered from anywhere else. I don't think so. So I ordered, actually this morning, I ordered 2 washi tapes from Mohrenkunst because she is doing 15% off. And I'm actually I'm filming this the same day this video is going to go live. So if you're planning to get any of her washi tapes, go to her shop, not her Etsy, her website. She's doing 15% off. So I ordered 2 washi tapes. So yeah, 2 washi tapes. They're coming from Germany. I upgraded my shipping to tracked, and the shipping was $5.75 or something. So I think that's pretty good. And oh my god, I didn't even say, like, miso paper. I love miso paper so much. She's my absolute favorite shop. She's based in the UK, but I know that she sends internationally, and I just think she has such a fantastic selection. Yeah. Okay, so next question is, what's your current stationery wish list? Do you set a strict budget and stick to it? Okay, so I don't set a budget because I don't ever feel like I need to. I don't really feel like I need to do that. I don't feel like my spending is kind of out of control to need to budget. I'm just going to make a little tally on this pattern, actually. Yeah, I don't feel the need to make budgets for my spending, to be honest. I just know that I don't have stacks of disposable income, and I know that, I don't know, I just can't place lots of online orders all of the time. So I tend to be quite strict with myself when it comes to my stationery budget, which it may not look like, but sometimes I do like a big order with Coffee Monsterz if Helen is doing like a sale weekend or a sale event or something. And I do order from miso paper from time to time, but yeah, I don't really have, I don't have a budget. I'm just careful with how I spend my money, and I only will order something if I know that I can absolutely afford it and that I definitely want it. I sometimes, if I like see something new, for example, like washi tapes or something, like the Moran Kunst washi tapes I ordered today, I've looked at those a couple of times before and thought, oh, it'd be really nice to have those, but I'm not going to get them just yet. But because she was doing the 15% off today, that's why I decided to order them. I kind of tend to like go back to my purchases multiple times before I actually buy something. I don't really buy things, I won't like spontaneously buy something. I'll kind of see it and think about it, and then if I'm still thinking about it, I'll probably go back to get it if I can afford it at the time. Yeah, another example is there's a journal pages pet tape I really want from Miso Paper at the moment. And I signed up to get a restock notification, and I think it was restocked like a month ago, and I still haven't ordered it because it is really expensive. It's like £25 for the roll of tape. I did buy one loop of it, but I loved the loop, so I was going to buy a full roll, but I still haven't done it because it just seems like it's a lot of money for a tape. So maybe I should buy another loop, and then I'm kind of covered. But yeah. And then stationery wish list, well, there's the journal pages tape I just mentioned. And I would really like some kind of planner tote. I see lots of people on Instagram with planner totes, and it's just really nice for carrying stuff around your house or your flat, or like to the coffee shop or something. Often when I'm at home, I'll put things in little, there's like plastic collapsible crates. I have all sorts of those, and sometimes I'll like fill up one of those crates and take it like into our bedroom if I want to go to bed early or something, and do some journaling. I'll take that, but I think I would really like a tote. So Miso Paper just started stocking ones from Delphonics that have like a grab handle, which are very nice. And I've also had my eye on for like a really long time one of the Real totes from Absent Studios, but again they're like £40 to £50, so I just haven't bought one. My birthday is coming up soon, so maybe I will treat myself to a planner tote with some birthday money. We'll see. Okay, so next question. Somebody asked me, well, these two tie together. Somebody asked why I moved to London, and then I think the same person asked, do you have a degree? So I moved to London to do my degree. I moved down here when I was 19, so I've lived in London for nearly 8 years, and I do have a degree. I did a BA in textile design, and yeah, my degree was 3 years, and after I graduated I stayed because in my last year of my degree I met my boyfriend. I don't know, yeah, I already had a job down here, and I had friends here, and had my boyfriend here, and I just really like living in London. I can't actually see myself living anywhere else. So yes, I have a degree, and it was the reason I moved to London. So next question, how long does it take you to edit a YouTube video, and what do you use? It depends on the length of the like unedited footage, but probably takes between an hour and a half to 2 hours, not including making my thumbnail, which the thumbnail normally takes me about 40 minutes, because I tend to listen to a podcast episode when I'm making the thumbnail. At the moment I'm listening to Detectives Don't Sleep on Spotify, which is like a true crime podcast. That's kind of, it's an American based one about kind of almost like famous detectives and the cases they work. But yeah, 40 minutes to make the thumbnail, let's say 2 hours to edit the video. Yeah, to make my thumbnails I use Procreate on my iPad. I have an Apple Pencil, so it makes it very easy to use. And for editing I use an app called VLLO, VLLO, Velo, which is actually free. There is like an upgrade you can pay for, which I have been meaning to do actually. I told myself I wouldn't upgrade until I was making money from my videos, but now I do make a little money from my videos. So I should really upgrade the app, but it's actually, the functionality of it is great. As a free thing, it's really good. Next question is, how long does it take you to write a page? How do you decide what's important? I think if I'm not too distracted, it takes me about half an hour to fill out a page in my Cousin. And sometimes if I'm distracted, it will take me longer, maybe like 40 to 45 minutes. If I'm like watching an episode of TV or something and I keep like looking up to watch the TV, it'll take me longer. But yeah, if I'm pretty focused, it doesn't take too long. And how do I decide what's important? I just think about things that have happened throughout the day, what I'll want to remember in the years to come, or like things I'm excited about, like if I had like a parcel that arrived, or if I, started a new knitting project, or I don't know, yeah, if we went out for dinner or anything like that. Those are the sorts of things that I choose to record. I also record really boring things about like what I ate for lunch at work, and like if the train was delayed and stuff like that. It's just kind of like whatever's on my mind. I tend to do quite like a stream of consciousness type writing. So sometimes I also do forget things and I'll add them in later if it wasn't something that was like right at the front of my mind. But yeah, it's not like a huge chunk of my time. I don't sit and journal or like write my plans for like 2 hours a day. Okay, the next question is a hard one. I really like this question. What are your 5 desert island books? Okay, so I have written this out so I can like think off the top of my head, but it did take me a while to decide what these would be. But it's definitely Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo. It's The Secret History by Donna Tartt, Six of Crows by Leigh Bardugo, The Journals of Sylvia Plath, and Meddling Kids by Edgar Cantero, I believe. I never talk about Meddling Kids, but it's so good. It's honestly, like, I've read it twice and I might reread it again this year because it's just such a great book. It's like Scooby-Doo meets H.P. Lovecraft. It's kind of like a slightly tongue-in-cheek sort of book because it is a play on Scooby-Doo and like kids solving mysteries. But oh my god, it's really it's a really good book. I could read that so many times. It's really good. And then yeah, Ninth House, Secret History, and Six of Crows are books that I've read multiple times. I think I've read, well, I just reread Six of Crows on audiobook, so I've read that 3 times now. The Secret History, I reread an audiobook this year. I think I've read that 5 times. I try and read it like every other year. And then Ninth House, I've read twice too. And The Journals of Sylvia Plath, just because, I don't know, it's such a gigantic book, and it's so interesting to see her writing about her life and her own experiences. Yeah, I really enjoyed reading that. It took me a very long time to get through it, like a good year on and off to get through it, but yeah, it's very good. So the next question is, how have your knitting preferences, brackets, yarn/patterns, changed over time? I think I go for more simple things now. I kind of choose more like classic silhouettes and things that I know will go with absolutely everything I wear or like already have. I'm quite practical in that way. Like, think about how things will fit into my existing wardrobe, which maybe that's a bit boring, but that's what I do. And yeah, I think I just take more time over decisions. I think some of the things that I have knitted and I don't wear were like spontaneous cast-ons, and I didn't really take the time to think through that project properly. I also used to knit so much colour work, and I still love it, but I just haven't done it for a really long time. I've been into my like more plain things, or like things with simple stripes. And I also very rarely knit with hand-dyed yarns anymore, because I just find them more difficult to style into my wardrobe. So yeah. Next question is, what are your must-visit yarn / stationery / bookshops in London? Okay, so unfortunately we don't have that many good stationery shops, like actual stationery shops in London. I do like the General Shop. It's very cute. It's a small shop, but they have lots of stuff there. That's in Shoreditch. And Artbox in Covent Garden has lots of Sanrio stationery. If you like that sort of thing, it's very cute. But yeah, I've written here, I mainly buy my stationery online because we don't have many good shops. There's another one in Covent Garden called Choosing Keeping. But it's very, very expensive. It's quite like a fancy stationery shop. Like they sell very fancy like note cards and things like that. For yarn, I love Wild and Woolly in Hackney. My Ivory Room as well, that's a new one. She's only been open for like a month, or 2 months or something, I don't know. But yeah, she has a really nice selection so far, and she's in West London. For books, I really love the book section in Forbidden Planet on Shaftesbury Avenue. If you go into Forbidden Planet, the like street level is all like toys and like t-shirts and stuff like that, but if you go downstairs into the basement, they have a huge selection of books, and also manga and comics, and there's also board games downstairs. But yeah, they have it's basically like a fantasy and science fiction bookshop. It's amazing. It's better to go on a weekday or like not during the school holidays or anything, because it's quite a touristy attraction, I think. And it can get very like hot and busy. But yeah, if you're in London on like a random day, I think it's really great to go and have a little nose around. I really like the Waterstones, specifically the one on Gower Street. That's kind of central London, but it's in such a beautiful like big old building, and there are like window seats built in on some of the levels, so you can kind of sit and have a look through the books. And yeah, it's a really nice branch of Waterstones, and because it's in a really old building, some of it's a bit like a maze, but it's quite nice. And there's a cafe in there too, but it's always full of students because it's near UCL. And then Foyles as well, that's also in central London on Charing Cross Road, actually really near Forbidden Planet. And Foyles is also great, but I don't think that they have as good a selection of like fantasy and sci-fi. I've noticed recently. I think that I went one day to Forbidden Planet first and then to Foyles, and I was really disappointed by what Foyles had. Like it felt like they had nothing in comparison. But it's still a lovely bookshop, and they also have a cafe, but again, it's really hard to get a seat because it's full of people working on their laptops. I also get quite a lot of my books from a local bookshop to me called Bookcase, which they have like new books, new releases, but they also sell brand new books at discount prices. I think they get them as like seconds or whatever. So sometimes I've found really good bargains in there. Okay, so next question is, okay, so do you have bad days in your journal? Like for example, something doesn't look right, but you can't change it. Definitely, I do. I think I often just can like come to terms with how a page looks, even if I don't like the way that it looks. I think it just becomes part of the book, and part of the whole like process or whatever. Like I definitely have pages in my cousin that I don't like. I think there's a few weekly spreads in the memory keeping pages as well that I do not like. But I don't know, it's done, isn't it? I can't change it. Sometimes I do try and change it. Like I have peeled up stickers and things before now. And that's, you know, that's worked out, but often you can't change things, and it's kind of like you just have to be okay with it. You know, you can just turn the page and then it's gone, in theory, you know. Okay, so the next question is, if you could knit one thing for the rest of your life, what would it be? I think my answer would be the Lakes Pullover by Ozetta, this designer. I've already made 2 of those, and I would definitely make more. The pattern's really interesting to knit. The fit is really good. It has so many nice details. And there's room for modifications, which is what I did with my second one. There's kind of all sorts of different little things that you can play with. So yeah, I think that would be this. I would just, yeah, make loads of that jumper. And the 2 that I have, I wear a lot as well. So it wouldn't be silly for me to knit another couple because I do wear it a lot. Okay, so the next question I got asked quite a few times, at least 3 times, was about my favourite pens. Favourite pens for the Hobonichis, and like how do I find my favourites? I think to find a favourite is a bit of trial and error. I used to love the 0.38 Muji gel pens, but I feel like the last batch I got, they're different to the previous ones that I had. The nib feels more scratchy, and it seems like they kind of have more like globby ink. I don't really know how to describe it. Like the ink would come out, like way too much would come out of the pen, and it would be very easy to smudge. Let's just drink some more water, I've talked so much. So yeah, I found that the batch of Muji gel pens I have now, they're kind of not anywhere near as nice as the ones I've had before. So I decided to try the Uniball 1Ps, which is what I've got here. And now I'm a Uniball 1 person for sure. Because I bought this is the regular Uniball 1. So the P, I don't know, I guess the P stands for petite because it's a wider barrel and it's shorter. But yeah, so I tried those out and I love the nib, and they're very like saturated black ink and they dry very quickly. So yeah, I think I'll be using the Uniball 1 from now on, and I'm really glad that I decided to try it out because it's definitely my new favourite pen. I also like the Uni Jetstream. Hobonichi recommends that one. That's the pen they give out for free if you buy your planners with them. You know, with the book purchase, they send you a Uniball 1 pen. So actually, not a Uniball 1, sorry, a Uni Jetstream. So I have 2 from 2023 because I bought my Weeks and my cousin directly from Hobonichi. It's like the 3-colour one. I do have to say I find that it skips a bit on the paper, and I don't know if that's because I've got like a dud pen or if it just does that, because I know I see lots of people kind of recommending them for Hobonichi paper, and Hobonichi obviously like endorse them because they partner with Uni to send them out. I've tried the Pentel Energel Cleaner as well in 0.4, and I know loads of planner people like this pen, but I don't like the nib anywhere near as much as the Uniball 1. So yeah, I like the body of the Cleaner. I wonder if I could put a Uniball 1 refill. We'll see. I just ordered some refills for the Uniball 1, so I can try it out. I do also write with a fountain pen sometimes. I have 2. I have a Kaweco Sport in an extra fine nib and a TWSBI Eco in a fine nib. I find the TWSBI way too thick for me, so I hardly ever write with this. I have been experimenting with writing with the nib upside down, which I saw one of my friends do, and it does definitely work. It just makes it a bit more scratchy. So I don't know, maybe I'll sell this pen actually. I'll like clean it and sell it. We'll see. But I love my Echo, and I know it's not an expensive pen at all. They're like £22. But it's just so nice to write with. I really like the nib, and I think ink comes out of this pen really nicely. I've tried quite a few different inks in it because I have a converter, and I just think everything writes so nicely with this pen. I've been thinking about getting another one so I can have different colours of ink on the go, but I do mainly write with gel pen, so I haven't bought one. I've also written here, I would love something a bit more fancy, like one of the Sailor Pro Gear Slims, because they have such beautiful colours, but they are way out of my budget. I think a Pro Gear Slim, I think they start at about £145, which is just way too much money for me to spend on a pen. So I can just admire everybody's online for now. And yeah, just write with my gel pens because those are the ones that I enjoy writing with the most. Oh, I will also say I've recently tried out the Zebra Sarasa clip. I have two. I have the Sarasa clip in 0.5, and then this one is the Sarasa Nano, which is 0.3. Both of these write really nicely in the Hobonichi as well. And these are like from the like vintage colors line. So this one is brown grey, and this one is called sepia black, but it's quite brown. Both very nice pens, and I like the body of the pen. It's very comfortable to hold. Okay, we're nearing the end. So the next question is, when do you do your planning? Morning, evening, or throughout the day? A bit of both, or a bit of all three. I tend to, if I have like a to-do list, I will tend to set that out the day before. So last night I wrote my to-do list for today, and I will probably add things to it as I go through the day. But yeah, I'll kind of plan for the next day in the evening. And I do tend to fill out my pages in my cousin. You know, my like daily log pages I'll fill out in the evenings, but I also do my kind of like morning writing. I'll write in the morning when I get up. I just will write a little chunk of text about what I'm thinking, kind of stream of consciousness, like what I'm thinking about when I've woken up. And then for things like memory keeping, I'll try and like slot that in throughout the day. So if I have like I don't know, like an hour or so in the day where I'm like, oh, what should I do now? Blah. I don't know. I'll do something like memory keeping, or I'll set up my planner for the next week, or I'll like update my health log or something like that. So I kind of do it all the time. I just kind of slot things in when I can, basically. Okay, so the last question I have is, who are my favourite YouTubers? I have loads of favourite YouTubers. Let me pull up my YouTube actually, because there's too many to remember off the top of my head, and I want to kind of get everybody in. Okay, so let's have a look here. So you know how your subscriptions, they kind of show like who's at the top or whatever. So my top YouTube person that I watch is Katherine Karas. I absolutely love her channel. Yeah, the vibes are immaculate. She's just like such a sweet person, and I get so many book recommendations from her. Then Megan Rhinannon, I talk about her a lot on my channel. I really love her channel. Randi of Randi.plans. I really love Randi's YouTube, but she doesn't post very often, so yeah, but still, it's very nice. The content that is on there that's up there right now is great. Helen of the Coffee Monsterz Co has a lovely channel. Petite Scribbles, I really like her channel. Her handwriting is incredible, and if you use a Hobonichi Weeks, the way she uses her Hobonichi Weeks is very inspiring. Lindsey Scribbles, I really like Lindsey's channel. She's the one who kind of inspired me to get a traveler's company Passport TN. She uses hers really beautifully. Who else is there? Ellie's Corner. Ellie's channel is really nice. I think what she's using at the moment. She's just switched to a paper test weekly B6 planner, which is really interesting. I haven't seen anybody on YouTube using one of those, so it's nice to see it. Plans with Jay. I really like Jay's channel. She plans a lot in her Hobonichi weeks. Does a lot of plan with me's, which is really nice. Theory of Lauren. I love Lauren's content. She's not so active on YouTube, but on Instagram, I think she posts a lot. And Lauren uses the Sterling Ink Common Planner in B6 size, which is interesting to see. Rachelle, in theory, she also uses the Sterling Ink Common Planner, and she does lots of kind of interesting planner deep dive type videos, which is nice. Magic Meets Paper. I really like Cassie's channel. Hers are all Hobonichi Weeks videos. Car's page. Car has so many planners and they're all amazing. Like, I think that she's using a rings planner at the moment. And what else is she using? I can't remember, but yeah, her channel's great. And yeah, I think that's about it. There's a lot of people I'm subscribed to, but those are the people I will like always watch their videos when they come out. So yeah, that was the last one. That was the last question. I'm sorry if I didn't get to yours, or if if you gave me a question and I didn't answer it. I'm really sorry. This is probably so long already, and there was too many. But if you have questions, you can always ask me in the comments. So yeah, that's it for this week. I don't know what video I'm going to film next week. Somebody asked about an updated favourite stationery video, so I think I'll do that in the next few weeks. Oh, I know, next week, because it's nearly the end of the month, next week I'm going to do a recap of my planners in May. So that's next week. I've just been slouching in my seat. So yeah, next week is a planner recap for May, and then who knows after that, but that's next week. So look forward to that flip. It's probably going to be another long one, because I don't know, I can't resist being a massive chatterbox in those videos. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope it answered some questions that you had. But yeah, like I said, if I didn't answer your question and there's something you want to know, just ask me in the comments and I will reply as soon as I can. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week. Bye everybody.